call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and pledge of allegiance. Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community and help all your people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Father, we praise you for you, our God, forever and ever. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held October 20th, 2022.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Report of executive sessions held.
There was one executive session held on Thursday, October 20th at 4 p.m. concerning litigation.
Department reports. The budget transfers.
Motion approved. No.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures. Approval of payroll check numbers 74711 through 74735, and direct deposit check numbers 6046866 through 6047303 for the payroll paid through the Favor Fund checking account for all county funds totaling $650,311.39. This is the payroll dated October 21, 2022.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 231879 through 232018 for expenditures through the general fund clearing account totaling $2,232,315.99.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Adult probation for approval. The award of funding in the amount of $250,000. The first year, $187,500. Second year, $62,500. From the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency for the 2021-2022 Justice Assistance Grant Local Initiatives Funding. This grant funds will be used to hire 2 pretrial officers and a part-time sentencing guideline technician for the term of October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2024. The program will focus on utilization of evidence-based decision-making during bail and sentencing decisions. The application was approved on March 31, 2022, agenda item number 22-160.
I guess I'll make the motion, but I think I'd like to have a little bit of discussion on this also.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I mean, we've done this in the past, and I know, and you see it throughout the county, like people apply for grants, and if there's matching, where that goes to, and a lot of them don't do it, and I don't know if I ever had this explained to me, where this money, you know, is it gonna be tied, that it's gonna help with the district attorney, and it's gonna help with the public defender, like, where is this all coming together? And if you look at it, it's gonna be something that's gonna cost us, I mean, yeah, we got awarded $250,000. But after the second year, we're gonna have the full load of that. And I think, if it's a good thing, I think it has to be explained to us a little, to me a little bit better. And, I'm willing to like table this till next week if somebody would wanna do that. And we've been working with the public defender and all of them, and they're trying to tie things in, at the prison, through drug and alcohol, CMP. So where is this all tying in? Is it gonna be a good investment? I think the one with the public defender is working out. And to have, 3 people hired, I think that's a big decision for the county, budget-wise, I think, to do. And if it's feasible, and if it's something that's gonna save us money, but I haven't really had any discussion on this yet. We approved to go for the grant, but that doesn't mean that everything in that grant is for us. What pertains to Carbon County in this grant?
This was approved under the old administration, under Rick Parsons. He clearly had a vision for that at that time, and we went forward with applying for the grant, and we're grateful to be awarded it. However, I agree with Rocky, we really haven't seen a plan how this is going to be instituted, what the branch plan is, so when this funding stream ends. Previously, I recall we had approved the position for up in the prison that was going to work, and I'll tell you, I don't have a good sense of where that position or its value was. So again, it's great we're applying for grants, but when there doesn't seem to be a continuity of plan, I think we need to relook it and see if it makes sense, not only today, but into the future. So I would also support tabling so we can meet with adult probation and other equity holders, and how does this fit into the big plan, overall plan of evidence-based activities?
Yeah, and I said, we've been working on different things, even at our joiner board, on trying to get things done. And I said, you see it like in our prison, the prison population has gone down, so something's working there, but do we need that's something that really would, if it would work, if somebody can explain this, that it's gonna work, then it would be all right, and we're gonna save money on it. But to put something like this on the taxpayers, within 2 years, that we're gonna be on the hook for $187,000. Is it really gonna work? And I hate to hire somebody, and then if it doesn't work, then you're gonna fire them in 2 years. That's gonna be how's that gonna work? I'm not, and if it's one position that would work, then I would be open to that. I don't know how the grant is. Having 3 people added on is, an altogether different, you have computers, you got everything. It's not just $187,000. It could wind up being $300,000 to the county in the budget. So the director has put in for this, and and if he has a good explanation for it, I don't mind that, but I think we should just table it until, he gives a good explanation. How's that?
If that's a motion to table, I'll
Yeah,
second
a
it.
motion to table it.
Do you have a time?
Um,
2 weeks?
Yeah, well, if he has something together, if he has justification, whatever our open date
Will
is.
schedule allow us to do it before next Thursday or not? Do we need
There's
that?
a deadline for,
Yeah,
in case that's the issue. I would say, right now, make it 1 week, and then if we have to extend it, we will, if we can.
right,
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to
Make a
either
decision.
pass it or reject it, one or the other.
Okay. And you're going to second it?
Yeah, I'll see.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next item is the bid award. For approval, award the bid for the HVAC project at Mock-Chunk Opera House to the low bidder, Spots Brothers Incorporated of Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, at their bid price of $159,900, as recommended by the representative of the Mock-Chunk Historical Society, Andrew Roberts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The coroner, for approval and execution, an agreement with Quincy Technology Solutions Incorporated of New Haven, Connecticut, for unlimited licensed software and maintenance for the coroner's office for the period of January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2023. Cost $4,022 for the license, $3,171 for hosting, for a total of $7,193. This represents an increase of $940 funded through the Vital Statistics Fund.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Human Services for approval and execution. The Human Services Non-Block Grant Plan Final Report for 2021-2022 for state fiscal year for Carbon County's HSDF, HAP, and drug and alcohol programs.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Lanta for approval and execution. The 2022-2023 first quarter MATP report as prepared by Lanta for submission to the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Planning and Development for approval and execution. Change order number 1 to the contract with Lehigh Asphalt Paving and Construction Company of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania for sidewalks to replace ADA ramps fiscal year 2019 intersections Lyman Orr Streets, Orr Street and Stony Hill, Mill Street and Apple Street, and Ford Street and Apple Street. Due to a decrease in the final contract price, the contract decreased $5,739.14 for a new total of $75,516.86.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
CDBG fiscal year 2019 for approval and execution, the fiscal year 2019 cooperation agreement for non-entitlement communities with the Community Development Block Grant Project for Lansford Borough Project.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Schindler Elevator for ratification. Acceptance of the proposal received from Schindler Elevator Corporation of Allentown, Pennsylvania for repairs to the administration building elevator in the amount of $95,696. Equipment is to be delivered 35 days from the proposal acceptance of October 21, 2022. Once delivered, 50% will be paid within 30 days of the invoice. Balance will be paid upon completion within 30 days of the invoice.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Vehicle fleet financing for approval. Proposal submitted by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for one additional vehicle under the fleet financing maintenance of the Master Open-End Equity Lease Agreement, which was approved April 27, 2017, agenda item number 17-159, and renewed on July 28, 2022, agenda item number 22-368, the vehicle monthly cost and full maintenance program for a term of 60 months for one 2023 Chrysler Pacifica at $982.65 per month for the Children and Youth Department.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The Solicitor's Report?
Thank you. Under the Area Agency on Aging, seeking approval and execution of an agreement between the County of Carbon, Carbon County Area Agency on Aging, and Palmerton Community Ambulance for the purpose of leasing the premises for the Palmerton Senior Center located at 501 Delaware Avenue in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, at a cost of $624 per month for an annual cost of $7,488. This agreement to commence on November 1st, 2022 through October 31, 2023, and will automatically renew until either party notifies the other in writing of their intent not to renew the current terms at least 30 days prior to the renewal period, and this represents an increase of $24 per month.
Motion approved.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Under Parks and Recreation, seeking ratification of a special activities agreement for the use of Mock Chunk Lake Park, submitted by the Jim Thorpe Tourism Agency for parking and shuttle service on October 22, 2022 for the Fall Foliage Festival 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Ratify.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Any further business? Hearing none. Commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor?
The only thing I have today is we got another donation for the dog, for the animal shelter, for $1,000 from Margaret Brea, in memory of her brother that just passed away.
Okay.
That's it.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, maybe just short of a handful of things. First and foremost, Carbon County made the front page of County News in regards to our action as a board and as a county to become first in the nation Operation for Green Light for Veterans County, which we'll be recognizing 7 to 13 November. And this campaign by the National Association of Counties highlights the roles that counties play supporting veterans, right? Ensuring that they're seen, appreciated, and indeed supported. And I would highlight, if you go to the Carbon County Veterans Affairs Facebook page, the multitude of events that are taking place in that week of November, to include 6th November is the Veterans Day Parade in Palmerton. The 7th of November, the Veterans Day Service, the County Veterans Day Service in Josiah White Park. 8 November, Vets Vote and Campfire at Mock Chunk Lake Park, starting at 5. 9 November is Walk with a Vet Ruck March, Revelries at 07 at the flagpole at the beach, and we'll kick off from there. 10 November, the dedication or formal opening of the Vets Northeast Hub down at St. Luke's. Also, Carbon County will join counties in the Elizabeth Dole Foundation's Hidden Heroes County. Hidden Heroes is a program of Elizabeth Dole Foundation that focuses on those who provide support to veterans, spouses, family members, children. And then Valor Clinic has its Patriot Ball on 11 November, and Carbon County Technical Institute, the VOTEC school, has their program that morning also. Had 4 or 5 county libraries sign up to support Operation Greenlight for veterans. That's Lehighton, the Dimmock and Jim Thorpe, and Penn Kidder, Panther Valley, and Palmerton. So thanks to the 4 or 5 county libraries, as they are information resource rich anchor institutions. County Planning Commission did receive a copy of the draft amendment that Jim Thorpe is considering, the modification, which could impact the future of Mock Chunk Lake Park, the water quality of the citizens of Jim Thorpe, and of course the quality recreational experience that is Mock Chunk Lake Park. So that's currently under review and will be by our Planning Commission. And that brings the point, the ballot measure that's coming up 8 November. I'll simply remind everyone that it's a two-sided ballot. We don't want null votes, meaning no votes, so please make sure you flip your ballot over and mark on that. We can expect about 21 to 22,000 citizens of Carbon County to vote, and that'll give us a good sense of the community, of their belief or thoughts on the importance of protecting, our agricultural land, our open spaces, and of course our water quality. In that matter also, tonight joining me on Carbon Matters live streaming, I have Dan, Lee, and Dennis from Carbon County Citizens for Water, Farms, and Land, starting at 8 o'clock on my Facebook page. We'll have that conversation. Lastly, have to talk about parking, because unfortunately, or the reality is, there is no month that recognizes parking staff or our parking ambassadors. And we probably get up 100 times during the day. I look out the window and I see those folks interacting with individuals. Come down on Saturday and Sunday when there's just a deluge of individuals. and see the role that they play to the tourism-centric economy we have here. And I'll give a little highlight of that. This past month alone, and again, we still have one full weekend to go, they handled over 15,800 cars, over 45,000 visitors. Those are pretty solid estimates of what they encountered so far. Importantly, to the citizens of Carbon County, some who have negative comments about tourism and the impact it has, it brought in this month alone to date over $140,000 to the coffers of the county. That's money that the taxpayer, us, we don't have to pay to support parks and recreation. So I'd always ask, we always keep that in mind with the little bit of inconvenience we have. And that's all I have.
I'll start off with the parking as well, and all the people that have come to Jim Thorpe, those numbers are only what we have.
Yeah,
I know
yep.
the church does some parking and some of the businesses, and the one group from the school utilized Mock Chunk Lake Park this past weekend on Saturday, and they did very well. Fortunately, we had the right weather, so they did very good and got some revenue for the school programs. But I want to point out, that's numbers aren't even in there. I had no idea how many cars were parked in Jim Thorpe at all these other places, Ginnerfield, or not Ginnerfield, but ballpark up here, and then, you know, it's just an amazing amount, the number of people. And I think our numbers, it wouldn't surprise me if it's only about half of the people
Oh, yeah.
that came
For
to
sure.
Jim Thorpe in one weekend. So, or so far this month, let's say. Touch on the, I'm glad Chris brought up about NACO, and we were in twice already, you know, with the training center. So we are getting national recognition in NACO, and I know Chris has submitted a letter, and we worked on a article for the County Commissioners Association as well. So we are working on that. Operation Greenlight, we had a good meeting this week as together with vets with the veterans programs, and because of the suicide net, we had about 30 people in attendance, and we're all working together to help reduce the amount of suicides in Carbon County. So I haven't talked to the coroner lately, and you know, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the numbers are up for suicides, but I'm not sure how many of those were veterans. So please support the veterans on Veterans Day Parade in Palmerton. These people gave up years of their lives and make great sacrifices, not only themselves, the military personnel, put themselves in danger, but the families, the spouses that were raising children and doing things that they didn't normally have to do, that the husband or wife would be doing. So please get out there and show that you can do that. I'm asking at least twice a year, Memorial Day, veterans, to show your support. Hopefully we'll have great weather then. Going back to the VA a little bit there, the VA is very busy with the burn pit legislation, as well as the issues with Camp Lejeune now, and all the health problems that our veterans are having due to contaminated water and burn pits. So they're extremely busy right now with calls, and a lot of misinformation out there. Be careful. I would recommend that you contact, before you contact a lawyer, maybe just contact the Veterans Office and let them help you first, okay? Because maybe I better not say it, I don't know. You know, when the lawyers, they're out there to make a dollar, you know, and if you can take care of the veterans in our Veterans Office, you know, it cuts out the profit of the legal beagles and that who, you know, they're out there making a profit claiming to, and I'm not saying there's bad ones, and there are times you will need that assistance maybe, but contact the Veterans Office first and save yourself a lot of money maybe. So the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick was the two things that I wanted to mention. Another unexpected expense of over $95,000 to replace the elevator here. It's those things that really hurt us budget-wise, cost of gas, etc. So we are really struggling with increased costs all over the county. And lastly, the legislation session is basically ending. To my knowledge, there's only one session left that I'm aware of, and that's on November 14th. So if the legislation has not passed in the last 2 years, there may be a few items that get through yet this year, but since we'll have an election, new elected officials in the House and the Senate and the state, and they start all over on the bills that were submitted previously. And these bills that were submitted, the mental health in particular, that is a big issue for the County Commissioners Association. The upcoming 911 fee, Act 12, that we receive about $1.8 million, and we have 1 year with new legislators to educate them and get that bill passed before January 31st of 2024, when that bill sunsets. What that means, if they don't pass something, that money goes away, and that's the fees on your cell phones, computer lines, etc., that support the communications center, helps pay the salary. The other big issue coming up on that is the next gen 911 connectivity in that, and that's gonna be a huge expense to all the counties in the very near future, with upgrading and being able to receive text messages and even videos through, if you're in an active shooter situation, you'll be able to receive that from inside the buildings that are being, where there's hostages, active shooters, etc. So there's a lot going on, huge expenses. So right now the counties are working on finding out what that cost is gonna be, ensuring that the funds are gonna be there to provide those services and do the upgrades needed. Normally you attend the fire chiefs meeting, and there's never gonna be a time where we have coverage at 100% because of the terrain and the gorge areas and the mountainous terrain. And constantly get complaints, oh, we have dead areas. Well, I know we have dead areas, but to try to improve it, and there are areas we can, but you know, it costs a lot of money to put a microwave dish and all the related equipment on towers to help improve communication. So the other issue that regarding that legislation with the Act 9, or the phone number, if you're not aware, 988 suicide line, which they're trying to push the fees back onto the 911 or Act 12 fees, and we're greatly concerned that now is that, are we gonna get the right amount of money or funds or revenues to cover both? Right now, the 988, I understand for Northeast Pennsylvania is being answered, those calls are being answered in Monroe County somewhere. So a lot of things going on, a lot of things to be concerned about, a lot of education of our newly elected officials after the election to why certain funds are needed, why we have to pass certain bills. So that's all I have. Meeting adjourned. I don't normally talk that long, but. Okay, Kelly.
Good morning.
The elevator project, is the elevator working?
No.
No. That's the
And
problem.
I'll give you a little bit of a story on that. And it has to pertain with, I think we have to start watching a little bit closer. This was gonna be a project that was gonna probably take like 3 to 4 months. And when they had contacted me about it, it was like, they're going on this vendor thing again. The vendor does not have what we have, it would be out how many weeks? I said, it's time to check other vendors. So if you look on the way that this was written up for them, they have 35 days to get it in, and basically 30 days, you know, to install it. So I think that's what and we're gonna have to start doing this on, if it's gonna be on the Lehighton project, or if it's gonna be what we're doing with the courthouse. I think this might be our first step in trying to hold their feet to the fire. I mean, there's a lot of money going out the door here, and there's a lot of requests for in the new budget, and we're gonna have to more or less decide on a lot of what are our needs and what are our wants within the next year. But that's one of the steps, and I said, I'm hoping it's gonna be done in that time. I mean, if it isn't, I don't know what we do there. I mean, they signed it that they're willing, that they're gonna have it in 35 days. So I wanna see it in 35 days.
That's the reason the tax appeals were moved to Lehigh.
Yeah,
Because of the
yeah.
handicap accessibility in that, so. Okay, well,
I don't know if you needed all that information, but.
So it could be down 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, but we were looking at probably 5 months before, 5 to 6 months, you know, it's like they were almost looking like it wouldn't be, I mean, maybe we'll have it by Christmas. How's that?
Okay, if they get the parts, if they get the parts in 35.
I don't know, they just told me that in 35 days they're gonna have it. I don't wanna hear if.
How long is the actual repair?
It's probably, like, when I talked to him, it's only gonna be maybe like a 4-day, you know what I mean, process. I mean, and I'm not saying they're gonna run into something else is broke, you know, how that works, but I think it's actually like I think they said no longer than a week. You know, so they'll have it in their schedule, and, I mean, and it's not that 36th day that they're coming to work on it, but they have to have it within that scheduled time, and I'm looking for it to be done, that they're gonna work on it within that first week of when they get the parts.
Okay. Next question, what is the cooperation agreement with Lansford Borough? What project is that?
Yeah, that was, I think that there was one too.
Okay, they're adding, this funding to the 2020 street improvement project, reconstruct Grimble Wall. DCED needs separate agreements for each funding year.
That would be all I have.
okay,
Just going back like to the elevator, how long has it been broken and what is actually broken in it?
3 weeks ago,
Yeah, 3.
about 3 weeks.
And what malfunctioned in it, if you know?
I think the cylinder gave out on it, like, it just cracked, you know, it was over,
Hydraulic fluid leak.
yeah, it
In the
was,
crack, so,
yeah.
And talk about the bid you awarded for Mock Chunk Opera House HVAC, kind of what is going on with that and
we're gonna turn that over to Andrew with the Opera House, and, he's the one that was named, as the contact person, so we'll let him explain that. Right there he is.
now or do you want to do that later? If you don't. I mean, just how important is it to have a function like that, you know, a landmark like that running properly, I guess?
Well, basically, it's the air conditioning unit, and, it gets awful warm in there in the summer. So if you don't have, air conditioning, if somebody comes for a show, in the middle of summer, when it's hot, they're not gonna come back again in the summer, and it's gonna, affect their revenues and their attendance on these, shows that they have this, during the summer months in particular. So it's, we've been working on this project for too long, let's just put it that way. And finally, I hope that this will be ready in spring, up and running. Bids award, hope they get the equipment that they need immediately. I know we were just told this week, the one air conditioning unit that was, I think, was 20 weeks out in ordering for another project for the Iron Street project, 20 weeks for sure. You know, so who knows, I hope they get the equipment. I know that's the problem we ran into at the comm center. We went and bought 5 smaller units because they kept pushing it off. It was well over a year, and we have a lot of electronic equipment there, and it has to be cooled. But the way I look at it, might have been a blessing. Now we have 5 units. If one fails, it's not gonna knock everything off. We have more units to back up.
Was the number figure pretty much kind of what you guys expected?
Yeah, this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been an issue in the past, a lot more than we expected and could afford, let's put it that way.
That's all I have.
Okay, good enough.